mentioning before the podcast that you have a Hebrew name.
Yeah, Malach.
Malach.
Yeah,
That's
which
cool.
I understand as messenger.
Okay.
Can also be
Angel.
king, angel.
Yes.
Yeah, depending on the context. But the
Right.
angels are messengers in a sense. They deliver, the will of
Yeah.
Hashem. So
Right. Okay. Right. An angel as a messenger. Typically, when I hear it, right, the first word I think is an angel.
yes.
But yes, I guess the literal translation is probably messenger. Why
Yeah.
that name?
Well, when I first did my birthright trip to Israel, I wasn't given one at birth. And so they were trying to give me one, and they were like, what about this? What about that? What are the concepts that you feel resonant with? And, we were in the holy places, and they're trying to give me the name on the mountaintop and everything. And I'm like, no, it's not the name. I can't just take it just because, So eventually I encountered a meditation group, and when I was there, the person, and it's very interesting, he was just like a shamanic person, yeah? And in the middle of the night, he was like, Adrian, I was just talking to Abraham, like in his meditation, and he's like, and he's saying that your name is Malach. And I was like, he doesn't know Hebrew. The guy doesn't know Hebrew. And I'm like, well, that's very strange,
You know what it meant?
I didn't know what it meant at that time. And so, but it resonated with me. I was just like, that feels really good. And then I later looked up what it meant. And, I've been doing a lot of Jewish learning to reactivate that part of myself, because through my mother, then the ancestry is there. But once I looked it up, I was like, oh, this makes perfect sense. When I was a kid, when I was learning about the Greek history and stuff, we learned about Mercury, Hermes, which was like the messenger god with the winged sandals. And I always really resonated with that concept of the messenger. And then later, I also learned about in the Incan Empire, they had these people called Chasquis who used to run by foot and carry messages throughout all of South America, Central America. So it's been a concept that's been following me. And as far as like music, poetry, writing, which are my main vocations, all of that is about delivering a message. So the deep study of like, what does it mean to be a messenger has been a huge part of my path.
Right. When you think of messenger, you can think of it as like a messenger of a letter, right? Like back in the day. It has that connotation as well, like delivered this message.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, the songs and the prayers are carrying some message for the people. So when we choose our messages, then we can apply that to just everyday life. What is the message that I bring to my family, my community, my friends, my coworkers? How am I delivering, the message?
Neat. How long ago was that you adopted the name?
It's about 8 years.
Neat.
Yeah.
Okay, and how is this this path of Jewish exploration going for you?
It's going great. It's interesting that after I was exploring music and for meditation specifically, because I went to the Eastman School of Music where I studied and received a degree in jazz guitar, music theory, and I was playing pop songs and stuff for weddings. But once I really started to explore spiritual music, the connection, especially through the birthright trip, opened me up a lot to just the deep sense of connection that I have with that part of the world and the people. And then the more that I read and uncovered, because then I began reading Torah and studying things and observing holidays with friends, the first person that ever invited me to do like a paid event in his home for a private healing session of sound, he was a Hasidic person in, I think it was Crown Heights or Borough Park. And so I went over there, and that opened up a lot for me as far as opportunities. And since that time, I've done lots of group work with Hasidic people especially, but Jews from different walks of life. And I've been studying Kabbalistic principles and how they apply and relate. So it's been beautiful. I love the language of Hebrew as well. I wish that I could speak it. I'm working towards that. But it definitely has ancient power, and the knowledge of the tradition is just so comprehensive, and it's beautiful. So I have a lot of appreciation.
Okay, glad to have you as a member of the tribe.
Yeah.
I use the term spiritual music.
Yes.
Is that a quantifiable thing?
Honestly, I say spiritual music for lack of a better term. Any of the labels that I put on this stuff, it doesn't really describe what's happening. You have to feel it. You have to be present. It's an experience. And when you have that experience, then you know what that is, to feel connected to something transcendental. I think that life is spiritual. Everything should be imbued with this sense of depth and closeness to God, or whatever we want to say there. But spiritual is something we have to practice. If we have a disconnection from that, then we need to feel, okay, what is spiritual, what is not spiritual? But as we find that connection more and more, then we notice that everything we're experiencing all day, every day and night is because of Hashem and close to that process. So then that label may not be necessary anymore.